What's up, guys? We're back here, day 2, and the guys have been steadily after it. They started this morning on this side, tearing panels off back over to there, and they got the better part of this removed. I guess is unique about this particular deal, I'm tearing apart a barndominium that somebody else built. It's always a learning process. I used to do a lot of remodeling, and this is an opportunity where you can really kind of learn from the failures of others when you're tearing things down. Now, that's not why we're taking this down. This was a perfectly good structure. And I told you guys it was a 40 by 60. It's more like a 32 by 60, I believe. Beautiful building. Actually, the workmanship was really high. I mean, the guys did a great job for what they did. I really like their thickness on their close sill, what they did there for those barriers, but I think the reason why they're doing that is because they've maybe experienced some problems with that in the past, but they didn't skip out on typical details that normal people do building barndominiums. Here they had good flashing details. I liked the way that they have their cap for their stone. That looked really nice. And then the trim as well. But we're learning a lot about it as we're digging into something that somebody else built. So the guys are tearing the stone down right now. It really hurts your heart to see something like this, but at the end of the day, our clients are excited about what we're about to put up here, because it's going to be one epic build that we're going to do here. We are working right now to continue trash cleanup, because they've got most of this foam is what's taking up so much storage when you're talking about demolition. We've just about got it to where we're going to be ready to tear down the steel. And they've already started removing some of the purlins here. We'll start stacking that stuff here in a little bit. But guys, there's a lot you can learn for the future by studying the past. And we get complaints all the time about people that are having window leaks, all kinds of problems in their barndominium. Maybe they didn't have enough insulation or the right kind of insulation. So these are mistakes you don't want to make when you are building a barndominium. There's a lot you can learn from other people. And so that's kind of what we're doing here, as well as we're taking this down. We're taking a look at how they did it, trying to see if there's any problems, anything like that. But like I said, it's a different motivation while we're taking this down. This is a perfectly good building, but there'll be a lot more to come on this build. So we're gonna stay here with it today and keep tracking the progress. And here, I want to show you guys something. So a portion of this section right here, this is the area where they had the barndominium. I'm going to set it up over here so I can talk to you about it in a minute. So this was the part facing the metal. You see, this is the two different types of spray foam here. You got open sill and you got closed sill. And they did a really good job. This is like over 2 inches of closed sill foam in a lot of spaces, especially in the depth of where these ribs are. It was even thicker, but a lot of closed sill here. And this is the two together. So you can see this part of the closed sill is doing the job of preventing moisture, pretty much condensation against that metal, because it insulates that metal really well, and this is dense, and so this keeps any moisture from coming into this other part of the insulation, where mainly they're just using to close and to fill the void. So as you can see, this right here, you can just break this off. See, you can see it's real mushy. You can almost squish it, all right? This is not the same. Let's see. This is a piece of closed sill. You cannot mush it like that. Very dense. So that's the difference between two different products here. And it will not tear as easy. It's just going to snap. So very, very tough product versus your cotton candy here. Open sill, which is just insulation. There you go. So this area right here, this is where the barndominium of the portion of build started, from here over here to this section. You can see the guys are still taking the wood part from the steel, but they went on the inside and framed out an additional framing inside of the metal purlins here. And then here in this scenario, they kept steel. And like you guys know how we do it, we're using zip system, but they're using the metal panel here. I don't really have a problem with this right here. This goes all the way down. As long as you got good drainage coming out the bottom, which here I would question. They do have some, let's see, they might have some weep holes somewhere, but I don't see a lot of weep holes, so that would be my only maybe critique on that. This works, but my concern is around windows, you know, because you don't want water coming in and coming in behind here, because now, yeah, you got good protection with the closed cell, but you know, I don't really prefer that little method there. So that's why we're using the zip system to create good flashing around these windows. Now, they didn't have any known problems of water that it's been brought to my attention, but that's one of the things that taking this barndominium apart is, I guess, kind of unique, because we have the chance to do that here. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. This is what can happen behind your stone. You can see this is starting to rot here, or rust. Now, this barndominium is not that old, only a few years, but you can see the rust here. This is where there's a problem, because all through here, you can see that deterioration is going to cause problems internally later. But this metal was doing a good job preventing that for now. But as you can see, all the moisture, it was going to start making all of your brick ties. So that's some of the things that we're looking for, as you're seeing rust all the way up here, up on the wall. So it was creating a temporary barrier, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't going to be a problem later. So that's something that we can learn from this build, maybe not to do. The biggest problem I'm seeing that they did here is they don't have any drainage allowing water to come out. See, they didn't have a typical brick ledge, so they just took their stone down into the ground somewhere, and then their sheet ledge is there. So that's where water would stop, maybe right here. That's a sheet ledge, like 1.5 inch sheet ledge. And then they were just letting water just dam up down here, which is why you're seeing this here. So if you get too much water in that wall, it would create leaks and make water going on the inside. So here's another section of the wall where you might look and say, okay, do they have any drainage at the sheet ledge? I don't really see a lot. I see that somebody drilled a hole right there. I don't see any real drain points at the bottom of this stone, so that's a concern. And here you can see they built pretty much one big wall that stayed up here off the back side. But again, over time, this would deteriorate because you got water that will get behind this wall straight into the metal. And I'm sure as we start pulling the rest of this stone off, we're going to see more rust at the bottom of the metal there. So this is that bottom piece of that panel there. You can see, guys, there's already clear deterioration from rust. Only a few years old. So that's what you don't want to see. And that's a real lesson learned there, guys. And you know, when I first looked at this, I thought, well, I don't see, well, why couldn't you do that? And then my next thought is, well, this is where problems can happen. Not that you can't have wood rot if you don't have proper drainage. So that's the key. Like, drainage is the biggest part of this problem. You gotta have a good drainage plane, and you need to have a good transition as well at the base. Or this. This is the result of poor drainage. Guys, check out the progress here. We're getting to the end of day 2, and you can see we got just the last part of these overhangs that we're popping off right now, and the guys have been cutting all this down, and we're just about down to just the A-frames, or the main I-beams that we gotta cut and pull away. So let me show you. This has been one heck of a project, but the guys have been doing good, making good progress. Oh yeah, here we go. So we've got lots of the purlins down. We've been dumping trailer after trailer, and waiting for Jensen to get back now. You can kind of see how this is going. Just about got all of the purlins off, but leaving the main ones right now. As we start taking these frames off, they'll be able to cut the purlins off here and then take this off space. I mean, out of its area, one at a time. So just how we lift them up, we'll cut them and lay them down and load them up. We got a little more to go here. We'll be cutting these at the base as we hold on to them with the teleboom, and then we'll lay them down one by one, all 4 of these main frames, and take them apart. Now we're going to leave the gables together. We ought to be able to carry those top shelf shapes. We ought to be able to carry those on the trailer as is, but we are going to cut the columns so that we can stack those better. But we're about to be setting our sights on the new location for the structure. It's going to go all the way back there. It's going to be 27 foot tall on one side, 22 foot on the other. This is going to be a single slope barndominium that we're going to build, so it's going to have a little bit different feel to it. So all that to say this, I hope you guys are enjoying seeing the non-progress on this build, because we're deconstructing a barndominium. I mean, that's a crazy thought. Kudos to whoever built it. The guys did a good job. There are some things, obviously, that we covered here to critique about the method, making sure that you take care of some of these water concerns around windows. One of the things that I realize as well is some of the water corrosion that I'm seeing inside that wall is actually coming from leaking windows. So them pesky windows always mess us up. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We'll be back bringing you more progress here on this sports barndominium. I'm Josh Helm, wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching. Texas Best.